Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at something a little bit different. I'm looking at these three resin cast heads of Ian, Barbara and Susan, which are in scale with the 5.5 inch character options figures and are perfect for your customizing needs. These were supplied by Gallifrey Customs, aka Scott Richards, who very kindly sent them over to me to have a look at and show you all. So as you can see, these look absolutely amazing. They could be official heads for the figures. They're that good. These were designed by Jeffery Fink in CAD, and you can see here some of the behind the scenes work, which just goes to show how amazing they look. And then they were sent over to Nathan Ward of NDW Design, who then printed and cast them in resin. And then they went back to Scott, who then painted them. And as you can see, the paintwork on these is absolutely fantastic. So incredibly neat, so detailed in the eyes and stuff. I'm absolutely amazed. I mean, he must have an incredibly steady hand and a lot of patience, because I couldn't do anything like that. I think they look absolutely fantastic. So Scott sells these through his eBay shop, and I've put a link in the description down below so you can have a look. I would also highly recommend following him on Instagram. I'll put his Instagram handle in the description below as well, because there he showcases all of his amazing customs, not just these heads that he makes, but all different types of customs from different TARDISes. He just 3D printed the Rani's TARDIS, which looks absolutely amazing. And he's got more of these heads coming out soon. I know he's working on the Rani. He's got Grace Holloway from the TV movie. These are absolutely fantastic. So I've already mentioned how great they look. They look as good as the professional heads on the toys. And you can see from the way that they've been designed, they all have the little peg at the bottom so they can be fixed into the bodies of one of your figures, just like one of the actual heads on one of the real figures. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back in time and show off my own customs. This was my own Ian and Barbara. Yeah, they look a bit dodgy, don't they, in comparison? Ian is looking far worse for wear because he had a bit of a repaint for one of my action figure adventures back in the day, and then I never really could be bothered to repaint it back. So it's really going to be about time that these two get a massive upgrade with Scott's heads. I'm going to take these away now. I'm going to boil and pop my figures because those heads need to come off. And then to put Scott's heads onto the bodies, I spoke to him about this, and really the best way to do it would be to boil the full body of the figure, prise the torso piece apart, and then put the head in that way, and basically deconstruct and reconstruct the whole figure like the figures are being manufactured from fresh. I'm not going to do that because that's going to be a lot of hard work with Ian, but it's going to be absolutely impossible with Barbara because Barbara's body is completely covered in milliput. So the only way I would be able to do that would be to smash the milliput and remake the figure. So I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to chop off the base of the pegs, and I'm just going to stick the heads straight in because personally, I'm not too fussed about the heads being able to move, but that option is available to you. So if you're going to be doing a custom of Ian or a custom of Barbara, then think about that before you start doing any work to the body. So the reason why I'm not boiling Scott's heads to put onto the bodies is simply because they're made of resin, so it won't work in the same way. It's not the same rubbery PVC plastic that the actual figures use, so it won't go soft and it will probably crack and damage all the paintwork, which I really do not want to do because Scott has done such a tremendous job with them. Here are the bodies with the new heads on top, and my god, don't they look so much better. Now, obviously, there still needs a little bit of work to Barbara. Her arms don't match the same colour as her head, and around her neck, so that just needs repainting, which is fine. I've got some paint that I'm sure will do the job. I'm not too sure if maybe the neck could do with a bit of a trim, because here I've used a Martha Jones body. Obviously, different bodies, it's going to have different effects. Same with Ian. I'm pretty sure for his Ian, he used the Ben Miller guy from Primeval. I don't know the characters' names, I never watched Primeval. But he used that body, which is far better than the one that I used. I used the 10th Doctor body, because that's what I had at the time. So what I've had to do is trim the peg and just sand down the neck a little, just to get it to fit in there. But it fits in nice and snug. It didn't even need to be glued in. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And I'm thrilled. They look so much better than the ones that I had before. And when I put these alongside the rest of the figures with the Daleks and the William Hartnells and the Robomen, Oh, it's going to look fantastic. It's just going to look like official character options figures. I take my hat off to everybody involved, to Jeffery Fink, who I think did an incredible job with the sculpting, particularly for the ladies. Barbara looks incredibly good. Susan looks absolutely amazing. She just looks completely spot on. And the way that they've been cast by Nathan, it's such a lovely, clean finish. It looks absolutely fantastic. And then with Scott's paintwork on top, it just really finishes it off beautifully. So unfortunately, I never attempted to make a custom of Susan. So now that I have the head, maybe I'll go off and try and find a suitable body to do that. Scott has already recommended to me that I use a Bill Potts body. I saw his version and it looked really, really good. He did a Dalek Invasion of Earth version. And yeah, maybe I'll try and track down a Bill Potts and see if I can have a go at making my very own Susan. But for now, as you can see, I'm just going to have to recreate that very famous scene where Ian and Barbara decapitated Susan and waved her head around the TARDIS. So there we go. Really, really cool. I definitely recommend checking out Scott's Instagram. Some incredible work there. And if you follow his Instagram, you'll be able to keep up to date with what new projects are coming out, when they're coming out on his eBay shop. And like I said, the link to his eBay shop is in the description below. There may not be stuff in the shop at this time, but keep checking back to see, and eventually new things will pop in there, including more wonderful heads like this. So it's £35 for all 3 heads. That's including postage, and that they're all painted, so you don't have to do anything but attach them to the bodies, which I think is really, really great. And it saves you doing something which I think is the hardest job of trying to customize a human character. So a massive thank you to Scott for sending these over to me, and if you're particularly interested in customizing, definitely follow Scott, definitely check out these heads on his eBay shop, and thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon.